Hello students, today we are going to look at solving traveling salesperson problem using dynamic programming. Previously in the class we have seen how to solve a traveling salesperson problem, but let us see how to find a solution to it using dynamic programming. Dynamic programming is one of the general algorithmic design techniques which can be used to solve problems, but the problems have to be able to be represented or formulated as a recurrence relations with overlapping subinstances. Remember, this is important that the problem should have overlapping subinstances. This has been invented by American mathematician Richard Bellman in 1950s, which was used to solve optimization problems. So the main idea behind dynamic programming is first we have to set up a recurrence relation. We have to set up a recurrence relation to a solution which consists of solutions of smaller instances. Solve the smaller instances, save the solutions of the smaller instances, and then you can use these solutions to extract the solution of the initial instance. Let us look at an example of Fibonacci number generation. We know the recurrence relation for the Fibonacci number generation is f of n. The nth Fibonacci number is nothing but the sum of previous two Fibonacci numbers n-1 and n-2. And if you were solving this using a typical recursive algorithm, this could be a top-down approach wherein you call the algorithm with f of n, which in turn calls f of n-1 and so on, and once you get a solution to f of 1, it backtracks the solution and finally you will be able to compute the value of f of n. However, when you are using dynamic programming, what you do is you approach the solution in a bottom-up and in an iterative fashion. So remember, in dynamic programming, we try to write a recursive algorithm but in an iterative way. So you try to compute f of 0, f of 1, f of 2 and so on, and save the results in the table as you can see, and then compute the f of n finally from the previous two sub-instances which you have solved earlier in the iteration. And you can see the time complexity also decreases. The time required using a dynamic programming decreases as compared to a recursive algorithm. When solving optimization algorithms using dynamic programming, we have to remember about principle of optimality. The principle of optimality can be applied if an optimal solution to a problem always contains optimal solutions to all sub-problems. So please remember that the principle of optimality holds if every optimal solution to a problem contains optimal solutions to all sub-problems, but please remember that it never says that if you have optimal solutions to the sub-problems, you can combine them to get an optimal solution to the main problem. So let us now try to solve our traveling salesperson problem using the dynamic programming, using the concepts we have learned till now of dynamic programming. So to review, very quickly talk about traveling salesperson problem, it says that if I start a tour in a graph, we basically represent the problem as a weighted graph. So in a weighted graph, I start the tour at a vertex. I have to visit all the rest of the vertices in the graph once and then return back to the starting vertex. And the optimization here is I have to find the path which has the minimum cost. So let us take the starting vertex to be at vertex 1. So when I start a tour, I have to go to a vertex k, some other vertex k in the graph. So when every tour will consist of this edge 1k, and then the rest of the tour will be going from vertex k back to vertex 1. So as you can see, I repeat this again. Every tour consists of an edge 1k. K is vertex of a graph other than 1. V is the set of, let V be the set of all vertices in the graph. Then K is now the set of all vertices other than 1 because we have started your path from vertex 1. And then the rest of the path would be from K to vertex 1. So now the path again from vertex K to 1. You can see a recurrence being established here. The path from vertex K to vertex 1 will now go through each vertex in the set V other than 1 and K exactly once. So let us now represent the recurrence relation using this principle. If I take the cost of the path to be G as a function of G, wherein I is the vertex, starting vertex, and S is the set which consists of all the vertices which are to be visited from I, and we have to go back to vertex I. So let G of Is be the length of a shortest path starting at vertex I, going through all the vertices in S and terminating at vertex 1 because we said we have to start the vertex at 1. And then if G of 1 comma V minus 1 will be the length of the optimal salesperson tour because as I said, we expect the starting vertex to be vertex 1. So when I have to write the recurrence relation, you can see that my tour of g of 1 comma v minus 1 means the cost of the tour starting from vertex 1, visiting all the vertices in set V other than 1 should be the C1k, where what is C? C is basically the cost of the path from vertex 1 to any vertex k. As I said, k is a vertex which belongs to the set V other than the vertex 1. So the cost of the edge from C1 to k plus again, what is the rest of the path now? From vertex k to back to 1, covering all the other vertices in the graph. So that is going to be again the cost, because g is a function which represents the cost. So g starting from vertex k and visiting all the vertices in the graph other than 1 and k. As you can see, v minus 1 comma k. So k could be any vertex from 2 to n. So I repeat the recurrence relation again. The cost of the path g starting from vertex 1, covering all the vertices other than 1 and coming back to 1. That is the traveling salesperson path we need to find. E is the sub-instance here. The sub-instance is now, instead of starting from vertex 1, I am trying to start the path at vertex k. That is why the problem which is covering from vertex 1 to n vertices in the graph is now split into the path covering from vertex k to n minus 2 vertices in the graph, as you can see. Writing a general form of the recurrence relation, you can see g of I comma s will be where I could be any vertex, not necessarily vertex 1. So c of ij plus g of j, because j comma s minus j. We know we can solve this equation for I is equal to 1 and j could be any value of k. So we can obtain the values of g from 2. And we know that g of I comma phi means the path to travel, the cost of traveling from vertex I to no other vertex, means the set is phi back to I. V is nothing but the cost of the path from c of j comma 1, or sorry, I comma 1. Hence you can use this equation to get the cost of the path wherein the set S is null, means from a single vertex to vertex 1. Then you can use this cost wherein you got the cost of the path for traveling from a single vertex to vertex 1 to solve when the size of set S is equal to 2, means you are traveling from a vertex covering one more vertex of the graph and then going back to 1. Subsequently, you can use this solution for vertices where size of S is 2 to obtain the solution where size S is equal to 3, means you start from a vertex, visit 2 vertices and then go back to your initial vertex, and so on till you get the cost of the path involving all the vertices in the graph. Let us look at an example on this to make the things clear. I have directly given the adjacency matrix representation of a directed graph. As you can see, it has got 4 vertices and the weights of the edges are given as follows. Now, as we have seen, we first have to find the solution to this wherein the size of the set is 1, means I am trying to find the cost of traveling from vertex 2, and we always assume that the path here is starting from vertex 1 and we have to go back to vertex 1. So the cost of the path starting from vertex 2 going back to 1, not visiting any of the vertices. So I am starting at 2 going back to 1 is nothing but the cost of the edge between vertex 2. This is vertex 2, so I am going from vertex 2 to 1, which is nothing but the cost of the edge, which is 5. Similarly, when I am traveling from vertex 3, means I start from vertex 3, go back to vertex 1. See the cost of the edge C31, which is 6. Similarly, from vertex 4 to going back to vertex 1. See, I am starting at vertex 4, going back to vertex 1, which is 8. Now, these are all the solutions we obtain when the size of the set is equal to 1. Using this, now we try to find a solution where the size of the set is 2. So, now I take the g of 2 comma 3, means what am I trying to do? Trying to start from 2, try to visit the vertex 3 and then go back to vertex 1. So, using our recurrence relation, this is nothing but either minimum of c of 2, 3 plus 3 comma 5, because the set has only 1, means I have to go from 2 to 3 and then back from 3 to 1, which is nothing but the cost of g of 3 comma 5. So you know cost of 2 comma 3. You can see here cost of 2 comma 3 is 9. And we have already computed 3 comma 5, which is 6. So I have 15 here. Similarly, I try to compute the cost involving 2 nodes. So using 2 nodes and 3 nodes and starting from vertex 4. I use these solutions to compute the cost of the paths involving 2 nodes. So again, that was the solution we have obtained for size set is equal to 2. Now we extend that to find the solution for set s is equal to 3. So I start at vertex 2. Visit the vertices 3 comma 4. This is nothing but min of C23 plus G of 3 comma 4, or I try to go to vertex 4 from 2. So that could be C24 plus G of 4 comma 3. I can know the solution of G of 3 comma 4, which I have already computed, and say I know the solution G of 4 comma 3. So I compute the solutions for both of them and see one of them is smaller, which is 25. Similarly, I do for all the respective solutions starting from vertex 3 and vertex 4. Finally, from these, I try to write the final recurrence relation, which is starting from vertex 1, visiting the vertices 2, 3, 4 and going back to vertex 1. That should be either starting from 1 going to vertex 2 and then visiting 3, 4 and going back to 1, or starting from 1 going to 3, which is C13 plus G of 3 comma 2, 4, or starting from vertex 1 going to 4 and then computing the cost from 4 to 2, 3. So I have a minimum of 35, 40, 43, which is 35. So we know that the optimal tour of a graph has got 35 visiting the vertices 1, 2, 4, 3 and 1. So students, I hope it is clear now.